A 96 ball handle with all these Hall of Fame badges. 94 speed with ball so you get lightning launch on legend. And a 94 pass accuracy for gold bailout and Hall of Fame dimer. And ladies and gentlemen, that is not even the best part. A 99 3-point with 4 legend shooting badges and also Hall of Fame shifty shooter. And just when you guys thought it was over, this build also has a 98 steal with Hall of Fame glove and legend interceptor. Oh, and it's also got a little bit of finishing as well. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know why this build is possible, but anyway, let's get on with the video, man. What's good, YouTube? It's your boy ChicoFilo here, man, back with another video, and today I am very excited to present to you guys my very first build video for NBA 2K25. Huge shout out to 2K once again for flying me out to community day. I'm actually very fresh from returning. I'm still very jet lagged, but I just had to get this video done, man. I had to share with you guys my very first build. Well, actually first builds, because we have multiple builds in this one video. But anyway, once again, because I went to community day, I was able to test out the builder and play 2K25 early. And honestly, I don't really want to drag this out longer, so enjoy the video. Huge shout out to 2K once again. And yeah, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe. We have a lot more 2K25 content dropping. And yeah, enjoy the video. In this video, I am going to present to you guys 3, yes, I repeat, 3 very solid guard builds for NBA 2K25. As you guys know, each year for every single new 2K, I always like to make a separate build for the 2s and a separate build for the 3s. So those are going to be the 2 builds that we start with, starting with my 3v3 build, and then we're going to move on to the 2s build. And then after that, I am going to be saving the very best for last. That will be the very last build that we talk about, and you will see why. Anyway, let's get straight to it, man. We have build number 1. Obviously, your position is going to be a point guard. Height is at 6'2", so now this is actually a very important thing to talk about already. I myself can confirm, along with a lot of creators that were making guard builds at 2K25 Community Day, can all agree that 6'2" is the best height for guards. Especially for the 3s, it's going to give you the best badges, the best attribute caps, and it really just allowed you to get that much more in comparison to the taller builds. Anyway, weight is going to be at 184 pounds. As you guys can see right here, as soon as I'm switching my weight over from 184 to 185, I am losing my lightning launch from legend to Hall of Fame because my speed with ball is going down from 94 to 93. And for you to be able to get legend on lightning launch, you need at least a 94 speed with ball. So please keep this in mind when also making your build. When making a small guard, you definitely don't want to go below a 94 speed with ball. For wingspan, we're going to go with 6'6" because I'm not going to go beyond a 94 3-point on this build. And since I'm going to be on a small guard, I kind of have to make up for that as well on defense by having a bit of a wingspan. So when I do upgrade my steal and I get my interceptor badge, it is going to be effective because any build with not enough wingspan is never going to get any lanes. And we don't really want this build to be a defensive liability, especially when you're guarding the corner, getting cut on by the lock. You're gonna need something to help you out. But anyway, before we continue, I just want to stress once again, in NBA 2K25, we have a new feature called cap breakers, and this is very important for every single build that you make for 2K25, because now, even after you have made your build, every cap breaker that you unlock is +1 to any stat of your choice. However, you only get 15 cap breakers in total, and these 15 cap breakers are unlocked through rep, so realistically, not everybody is going to get to 15 cap breakers. You're probably going to have to get to legend to actually get 15 cap breakers. So to be honest, the average 2K player is probably only going to get around 5, maybe a little bit more cap breakers. The most important thing about cap breakers is that you can only apply that point as long as that attribute is within your my player's max potential. This is currently this build's max potential for all these stats, and that is all determined by the position you choose, the height you choose, the weight, and the wingspan. So now that I've capped my 3-point at 94, say if I was to unlock a cap breaker, I can't actually use that cap breaker on my 3-point to bring it to a 95 because my max potential is only a 94. But say for example, I'm done making this build and my mid-range is around a 92, I can use a cap breaker 4 times to bring that up to a 96. So no matter what build it is that you're going to be making for 2K25, please do keep this in mind. Anyway, let's carry on. So these are the physicals that we want to go with. And then moving on, starting with finishing, these are the stats that you want to go with: a 72 close shot, 80 driving layup, and 87 driving dunk. As you guys can see right here, you go from bronze posterizer to a silver posterizer, and you also get gold aerial wizard, only a 38 standing dunk, and a 42 post control. Every single year for every guard build that I'm make, I need to have some sort of finishing in there. I always aim to make some sort of like offensive threat type of build that can score on all 3 levels. And for this build that I'm making, an 87 driving dunk was the most optimal driving dunk that I can get, so that is what I stuck with. Moving on to shooting, we have an 83 mid-range and then a 92 3-point shot. As you guys can see, we get a silver limitless, but once again, reason why I only made this 92 in the beginning is because that I have already decided that I am going to save my cap breaker points to upgrade this 3-point later. And as you guys can see right there, I get gold limitless once I get to a 93. And then if I actually wanted to, I can add another +1 to my 3-point, bringing that to a 94, which will also give me a gold mini marksman. But for the sake of optimizing this build fully, if I brought my 3-point to a 94 off rip, it would have just restricted all of my remaining stats, and that is why I went with a 92 to start off with. Anyway, this build also has a 70 free throw, but then moving on to the playmaking aspect, we have a 78 pass accuracy, but we still get silver dimer and break starter, and also this new badge called versatile visionary. We have a 95 ball handle off rip. We've got Hall of Fame ankle assassin and Hall of Fame handles for days, and also gold unpluckable. And on top of that, although at this point in time when recording this video we still don't know the animation requirements, a 95 should be more than enough to unlock every animation that you need as a guard. And also, if I actually upped my ball handle from a 95 to a 96, I also get Hall of Fame unpluckable. So I probably will end up spending one of my cap breakers on this ball handle anyway, especially if gold unpluckable doesn't do me enough. We have a 94 speed with ball, the only attribute that we have at its max potential. Like I mentioned earlier, we get legend lightning launch, probably going to be one of the most important badges for this build, because this badge will determine how fast we can speed boost, and for small guards this is always a top priority. So far pretty solid on the offensive side of things. And now for defense, as you guys can see, we still have a 44 interior, a 74 perimeter defense, which gives us bronze challenger, on-ball menace, and pick dodger, and also silver off-ball pest. Matter of fact, that 74 perim D actually just manages to get you that on-ball menace. As you guys can see right here, every time I bring it down to a 73, we lose that badge. But perhaps the most important defensive attribute on this build, we have an 89 steal to get us gold interceptor and silver glove. And with a 6'6 wingspan, this should definitely be enough for you to get lanes and a few plucks as well, so you can still make up for it on defense, although being a small guard. And as you guys can see right there, the next upgrade for glove is gold, which you get at a 91 steal. So if you did want to add +2 to your steal, you could, just so you could get gold glove, but I don't think it's going to be too necessary for this build, but you do have that option if you want. For our other remaining stats, so we got an 89 speed, a 79 agility. Once again, if you guys are still unaware, speed and agility do not affect how fast you move with the ball. These are both two attributes that only affect how fast you move without the ball. Moving with the ball, including your acceleration and everything, is all tied in with speed with ball. So these stats right here have actually just naturally been brought up by all the other attributes that we have. Although a 79 agility also allows us to unlock gold shifty shooter. And then for vertical, this one's actually a really important one, because to get silver posterizer, you need at least a 75 vertical, and I'm sure this 75 vertical will also allow us to unlock a lot more animations that will be very beneficial for the finishing on this build. And then for the leftover attributes, I decided to just put all of it into interior D, just to add to our defense a little bit. And for attributes, that is basically it. But once again, keep in mind, every stat that I've got right now, every attribute that I've got, we also still have our cap breakers that we can use. So treat this like a template if you wish. It is completely up to you where you want to add those cap breakers. Like I said, there are 15 in total, but realistically, most people will only get around 5, maybe 6, maybe a little bit more, since cap breakers are unlocked with rep. And yeah, moving on, these are just some of the takeovers that we get on this build. Feel free to pause the video at any point just so you guys can read what you get with this takeover on the bottom right, as well as the takeover ability, which is also a new thing in 2K25. As you guys can see right there, above the rim will give you a poster machine takeover ability, which amplifies overall dunking ability and makes skill dunks easier. We've also got ankle taker and dribble wizard, which also has the takeover ability of blur, enhances the ability to drive by defenders, making it easier to get to the rim. We've got driver finesse, which gives you this takeover ability called lethal layup, improves the ability to finish tough layups and floaters in traffic. We've got flash, fluid shooter, and finisher. And as you guys can see right here, for fluid shooter, you get the takeover ability marksman, which enhances standstill perimeter shooting and boosts ability to get open. You also get Kryptonite, Make It Rain, Midi Maestro, which gives you the takeover ability Silky Shooter, which makes it easier to make perimeter shots off the dribble and boost shot chance off ankle breakers. We have Offensive Artist, Satellite with the takeover ability called Deep Bomber, which extends your shooting ability well beyond the 3-point line. Okay, so now this right here is probably a takeover I'm going to probably use a lot, especially for the threes. We've got Slice, Sniper, Spot Up Shooter, and interestingly enough, you can also get Swiper, which is a lock take type of takeover, and your ability is Spoiler, which is higher efficiency in getting on ball and pass steals. And we also have the Claw. And last but not least, you have 3-point Architect. So quite a wide variety of takeovers to choose from. And as you guys can see right here, we have shades of Sleepy Floyd, Damian Lillard, De'Aaron Fox, and what is our build name going to be? It is a shot creating 3-level threat. So there you guys have it, man. That is my official 3v3 build for NBA 2K25. I can't wait to take this build to the park, man. I know it's going to be great. But anyway, let's move on to our second build in the video. Okay, so the next build that we have is my 2v2 build. And this build right here is pretty much a slightly tweaked version of the first build that I showed you. However, this one is way more optimized for the twos. And these right here are the physicals that you want to go with. So PG, 6'3", 186 pounds, and 6'8" for the wingspan. I initially wanted to make my twos build a 6'4". However, the stats just don't compare to the 6'3", and I just get way more on this. For the weight, I went with 186 because this is what gives you 65 strength and also gives you a silver strong handle, which this build gets. And then 6'8" for the wingspan because this build is going to have slightly more defense than my 2v2 build, and that is once again going to help me get more lanes and steals on the twos. First of all, I only went with a 89.3 for this build because it is the twos, and I don't really need anything more than Silver Limitless, and you get Silver Limitless range with a 89.3. And since this is also the twos, I decided that I will actually have a slightly higher mid-range than my 3-point, seeing as I probably will end up using my mid-range a lot more than I use the 3. And with this 91 mid-range alongside our 76 agility, that allows us to get gold shifty shooter, which is going to help us shoot, say, like step backs or fades, any sort of off dribble, like difficult types of shots that we can make. And once again, for both our mid-range or 3-pointer, if we did want to increase this, we have our cap breakers reserved for this as well. For ball handle, we have a 92, which just allows us to get that gold unpluckable. We also have gold handles for days, silver strong handle, and silver ankle assassin. And as you guys can see right there, we are only one attribute away from getting gold ankle assassin, so I definitely will be putting a cap breaker on that. Speed with ball I've put exactly at 91 because that is the requirement to get Hall of Fame lightning launch. I don't think I need anything more than this for the twos, so I am keeping this at a 91. Now for finishing, although this is pretty similar to what I had in my first build with an 87 driving dunk, but if you guys look all the way to the bottom, I have an 80 vertical, which is actually needed for gold posterizer. So I know it's going to take a lot of cap breakers, but if I was to get my driving dunk to a 93, I would then have gold posterizer, which honestly, considering this is a 2v2 build, I might actually prioritize this first if I find that the 87 driving dunk isn't really doing enough. And that option is there, and obviously gold posterizer will be a huge bonus for this build, alongside all of the additional dunk packages and animations that I can get with a 93 driving dunk and an 80 vertical. And in the long term, as long as I get around, say, 7, maybe 8 cap breakers, this build is going to be pretty insane. Moving on with defense, we have a 50 interior, a 77 perimeter D, which allows us to get all these badges right here. We have a 91 steal, which gives us glove on gold off rip, as well as gold interceptor. And last but not least, we have our strength, which we have at our max potential of 65. That is also, once again, why we went with our weight earlier, because having a 65 strength is what gives us a silver strong handle, which will be a great badge for the twos. These are a few of the takeovers that we have on the second build. Most of these are similar to the first build that I showed you, but we also have some new ones, like this one right here called Gifted Hands. Anyway, we have for this build shades of Derek Harper, Darius Garland, and Trey Young. And our build name is a shot creating 3-level threat, just like our first build. Anyway, if you guys have made it this far into the video, it is now time for our third and final build. And I don't think you guys are quite ready for this one, but I am going to jump straight into it But I will warn you, especially this early into the game, I will probably advise you guys away from this build. I mean, I'm not gonna lie though, I probably will end up making this build on day one just to see if it works or not, because the stats are really just that insane. But anyway, let's get straight into it. Basically, during 2K25 community day, there was this thing that kind of spread. Somebody tried it out, discovered some pretty crazy stuff, and then word got around very quickly, and a lot of people caught on and realized that this could potentially be game breaking. But anyway, see for yourself and let me know what you guys think. If you notice right here, as soon as I bring my height all the way down to 5'9", just look at the right side. Look at how many red badges there are. How many legend badges there are suddenly in comparison to the taller builds. So yes, reason why I was advising you guys away from this build in the beginning is because this build is indeed going to be 5'9". But keep watching. For the weight, we're going to make it 184 pounds and then 6'1" for the wingspan because we want a 99.3, and once you go past a 6'1", you can't get a 99.3. But anyway, you guys are in for a shock because take a look at these stats right here. Starting with the shooting, we have an 89 mid-range and a 99.3, which gives us Legend Deadeye, Legend Limitless, Legend Mini Marksman, and Legend Set Shot Specialist. And Hall of Fame Shifty Shooter, we get a 94 pass accuracy with all these badges, a 96 ball handle, which gives us half unpluckable, half handles, and half ankle assassin. You also get a 94 speed with ball, which gives you Legend Lightning Launch off rip, a 74 perimeter D, and then the thing that doesn't make the most sense to me, a 98 steal, which gives you Legend Interceptor and Hall of Fame glove. And look at that, at a 99 steal, this build will get Legend glove. I have no idea why a 5'9" guard with a 6'1" wingspan has the ability to get these badges, as well as a 98 steal on top of all these other stats already. But like I said before, proceed with caution if you are someone that is considering making this build. A 98, maybe even a 99 steal might not actually matter on a 5'9" with a 6'1" wingspan, but then at the same time, I don't know, like this could actually be game breaking, and there's really only one way to find out. So I'm probably gonna make it. I'm gonna try it out. If you don't want to waste your VC, then maybe wait on that as well. Wait for somebody to try this 5'9" out before making your own one as well, and then see if it works. Anyway, we also have an 81 driving layup and a 73 driving dunk, which allows us to get bronze posterizer and bronze aerial wizard. So on top of the 99.3 and insane shooting that this build already has, it also has a little bit of finishing. Physicals, we have an 89 speed and a 79 agility, which is actually needed for shifty shooter, and then a 65 vertical, which is also needed for bronze posterizer. And you already know this build is going to have a bunch of different takeovers that I'm not even going to bother going through. Anyway, this build gets shades of Tim Hardaway, Mike Conley, and Fred VanVleet. And the build name that we have for this 5'9" build is a 3-level scoring playmaker. Pretty tough name, I'm not going to lie to you guys, man. But anyway, that is it for this video. I have given you guys 3 different guard builds to choose from, or even use a template out of. The beauty of the build system this year in 2K25 is that you get all these cap breakers, which makes things a lot more flexible when making your builds. Even if you were to make like a slight mistake, as long as you have accounted for the max potential of those attributes that you wish to put a cap breaker on, then you will be fine. But anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What changes would you guys make, or just let me know your overall thoughts. But anyway, that is me for the video, man. Thank you guys so much for coming through. I've got a lot more build videos dropping very soon, so don't forget to drop a like and subscribe once again. But anyway, I'm gonna catch you guys in the next one. Take care and peace.